What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now today we're going to go ahead and list out all my pros and cons for Battlefield 2042. Over the past week and going into the weekend, I went ahead and put in about 30 plus hours into this exact title. And every single second that I put into it, I listed down all my opinions of the good things and, obviously, the bad that's going on in Battlefield 2042 to hopefully go ahead and fix up this game for the final release. Now I gotta say, my cons list is almost 3 times the size as my pros list, so it's going to be a very long video. So I'm going to try to start it as soon as possible, but it's to be expected. It's a beta. It's going to be a lot of problems. But seriously, though, I just want to say this again. This is the most broken beta I've ever touched in my whole life. I know I already made a whole video about this, so I'm not going to go into deep detail, but Jesus Christ. Betas are not only just to fix the game, but they're also there for a selling point, and I got to say, this was probably the worst selling point for a lot of new players trying to be introduced into the Battlefield franchise. If you went ahead and you played this beta and you thought it was disgusting, please, for the love of God, wait till either the game releases or you see more official gameplay when we get close to launch before making an opinion, because I can confirm this beta was really rough to grind through. But if you were able to grind through it, and you were able to push all the bugs and glitches and the horrible things behind you, and look at the core game itself, you will see a very beautiful product with a lot of passion behind it from all the developers who are working at EA DICE. So I'm very excited to go ahead and see this game. And with this current positive mood right now, let's actually just go into all the pros to list them out here so I can show you guys that I truly am really happy with this title that we have here. First off, gotta say, the sandbox atmosphere of this game is phenomenal. It's nothing like Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5, which I gotta say, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 weren't that bad of games. They were a little bit more on the realistic side, which isn't a bad thing, because for Battlefield it fits perfectly. But when you have a game that's a little bit more realistic, you lose out on a lot of the only in Battlefield moments, because in order to have those type of moments, you need a little, goofiness, a little craziness, a little unrealistic moments that go on in the game. And like I said, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5 kind of lacked on that. Battlefield 2042, trust me, there is no lack of insane moments in this game. Every single moment that you touch this game, you're probably going to be in some type of movie scene. It's insane, it's phenomenal, it brings everything that I love about a Battlefield game, but it still keeps the realistic vibes alive. It still feels like I'm in an all-out war, but at the same time, if I want to go ahead and do something goofy or crazy, by all means, I'm allowed to do so. So thank God, EA DICE, you nailed every single aspect that I could ask for when it comes to a Battlefield title. The next pro is the weather feature when it comes to Battlefield 2042. I gotta say, the tornado is freaking awesome in this game, and it's great because it's not overused, and the majority of the time that it comes into the lobby, it doesn't even go on a direct path to interrupt the core of the battle. Sometimes it doesn't even come into the map. You have to go to the outskirts just to see the tornado, but when it does come and it hits the battlefield, it just adds for a extra layer of gameplay. Now, when I say weather and stuff like that, I'm not talking about the rain and all these other features, because we've seen these type of things in different games for years. That's nothing new. But seeing stuff like tornadoes, or even leaked information about maybe volcanoes coming into Battlefield 2042, and hurricanes, tsunamis coming into Battlefield 2042, after seeing what the tornado is capable of, I cannot wait to see what the rest of the weather features are going to be coming into Battlefield 2042. Next up is the phenomenal movement in Battlefield 2042. Now, this is a pretty controversial topic in the whole community, because a lot of people surprisingly don't like the movement in this game. And again, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I'm not going to bash you or anything. If you don't like the movement in this game, then so be it. But when your reasoning for not liking the movement in this game is because you prefer a more grounded experience like Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 5... then I can't help but laugh, because Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5 are some of the most cracked out movement games in the whole Battlefield franchise. All Battlefield 4 was strafe bunny hopping and dropping on your tits, and Battlefield 5 slide canceling was so cracked out that they had to nerf it one time, and even after nerfing it, it was still completely meta. Look, Battlefield movement has never been completely slow, unless you want to take it all the way back in the day. Then by all means, then yes, if you take it back to like Bad Company 2, then I completely understand when you're saying you want the gameplay to be grounded. But if you're going to compare the movement to a game like Battlefield 4, you're completely wrong. I'm sorry. Just look up any bunny hopping tutorial on Operation Locker in Battlefield 4. Please, I beg you to look up any tutorial and tell me that movement doesn't look completely cracked out. Movement has always been key in Battlefield, but the difference between the past titles to this one right here, Battlefield 2042, is that they made it more open and available for everybody to abuse. Back in Battlefield 4, you had to learn the techniques to bunny hop. Not everybody was going to be able to hop into the game and be able to play it, but in Battlefield 2042, everybody can go ahead and use the bunny hop if they want to. It's not always the best option, but it's definitely a tactic that's available to you at all times. And also, I see a lot of other statements saying it's basically a complete copy and paste from Call of Duty, which once again, no, I'm sorry to say it's not. If you play Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, even played the beta for Vanguard, you know how to slide cancel. You know the movement systems in those games. And it's the complete opposite when it comes to Battlefield 2042. If you played Apex Legends, you know it's pretty much a copy and paste from that system over to Battlefield 2042. The way you slide cancel, slide jump, reload while sliding, every possible movement feature from Apex Legends has been transferred over into this game right here. So no, it's nothing like Call of Duty. It's definitely more like Apex Legends. And to me personally, I don't mind that. I loved Apex Legends movement. It was a little clunky for me, but in this game right here, it seems like they polished it off to make it fit the Battlefield scene. Next up is the vehicle gameplay in this game. I gotta say, it's pretty darn solid. In past titles, they made it pretty complex to get the understandings and the fundamentals of some of these things, but when it comes to Battlefield 2042, everything across the board is pretty simplistic. The tanks are really good, I gotta say, but I'm a good tank player, so I understand how to use them. When it comes to helicopters, though, I am very, very, very bad. I tried to learn them in Battlefield 4 for a little bit, but I just kept getting my crap completely stomped in. But in Battlefield 2042, I love helicopters. I gotta say, they're extremely fun to use, and they feel very smooth on the mouse and keyboard, surprisingly, because usually you want to play with a controller when you fly these things, but for me personally, I was able for the first game to hop on and instantly get a good feeling for the mechanics. I like it a lot. Coming from a noob, like I said, I'm not no experienced, helicopter player. I'm definitely a noob when it comes to this stuff, and I gotta say, it's an absolute blast. And at the same time, it's not impossible to take these vehicles out. You don't see helicopters completely dominating lobbies or tanks completely dominating lobbies. If you're a good infantry player and you only want to play infantry, there's plenty of spots on the map where you won't see helicopters or won't see tanks, and you can avoid them very easily. And if it comes down to it, everybody has a rocket available. So if you want to go ahead and pull a rocket out and shoot it down, by all means, go ahead and do it. The last pro that I have here is going to be one that I'm probably going to get a ton of hate for. I completely understand, but sadly, I don't have enough time to explain myself fully in this video since we're like 7+ minutes in, and I haven't even started my cons list yet. So to save you guys time, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the quickest explanation for my reasoning here, but do expect a commentary in the future going a lot more into detail. Probably within the next couple of days, I'll make this commentary, but my last pro is the specialist system in Battlefield 2042. I am one of the rare few people that actually really do enjoy the specialists in this game. I think they all have a very good role in this title, and the only reason that we're seeing, meta-based specialists and meta-based weapons and stuff like that is the same reasoning for Vanguard. People just simply didn't have enough time in the beta to expand and try new things. Not everybody's like me, who's a content creator, who has the time to go ahead and test out these games and try to figure everything out for you guys. A lot of people have full-time jobs, they go to class full-time, they don't have the time on their schedule, so they get an hour or two into the game, and during this time, they don't want to go ahead and test out the whole game. They want to try to get some good gameplay. They want to try to enjoy themselves. So what are they going to do? They're going to use everything in the game that they're used to already, which is probably the first specialist that they got there, the grappling hook, the first assault rifle, which everybody wants to use, the M5 rifle, which again, everything else in this game is phenomenal. All the weapons in this game, the AK, the Vector, the first SMG, the sniper rifle, amazing. Same thing with all the specialists, the medic, the person who has the drone, the player who has the sentry gun. They're all freaking kick ass in their own unique ways. I don't even use the grappling hook guy. I'm going to be honest with you guys, throughout the whole beta, that was my least used character, was the man with the grappling hook. I did not give two craps about that specialist because, personally, I thought all the other ones were much more better for my playstyle. The medic, I enjoyed healing myself a lot and also healing other players, but again, I'm going to talk about that in the cons because the medic needs a lot of work. The guy with the drone, fantastic. Every time I got into a hot situation, I pulled out the drone, scanned everybody in my surroundings, so it's like a 3D spot on the minimap, so I know exactly where they are. And I killed multiple people. I've got 5, 6, 7 mans with a freaking drone scanning people, which is a lot more kills than I ever get using a grappling hook. And again, the sentry gun, phenomenal. Not the best of them all, probably, my third to last out of all the specialists in this game, but still, the sentry gun spots people through surfaces. So you see a fat red outline on characters through bushes, through walls, and if they're through a bush and you see them with the red outline, you could just spray through the bush across the map if you want to. All of these specialists are good. Again, we just don't see variety yet because people haven't had the chance to go ahead and try things out. And again, don't forget, it's not only 4 specialists in this game. We're going to see a lot more specialists coming in the near future when the game drops. So the variety is going to be insane. I think so far it's really good, but again, I'll explain my reasoning later on in a different commentary. Alright, now it's time to get to the cons regarding Battlefield 2042. Also, if you guys haven't heard anything in this video relating to a pro or con that you guys have witnessed in this game, make sure you leave them down in the comment section. We're going to have an overall discussion down there, trying to figure out everything that's pretty much busted in this game. Alright, so to start off the list, frags can't go through bushes. My god, I can't tell you how many times I killed myself trying to chuck a frag through a bush or a tree, like the branches and the leaves and stuff like that, and it completely ricochets off and just craps on me. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Hopefully, if they can change that up, that would be fantastic. The parachutes in this game, booty cheeks, they're pretty good once you pull them and you navigate with them, but trying to pull them a little late after you jump or just pull them at all, it's a pain in the butt. Sometimes you have to spam your space bar like 8 times just to pull the chute. It's pretty rough sometimes. The ladder animation, characters look absolutely ridiculous climbing ladders. It's so funny. If you ever saw it, or if you haven't seen it, hopefully it might pop up in this gameplay, or you probably saw it in other gameplay. Sometimes it looks super stiff like Mario all the way back in the day with, Donkey Kong and stuff like that, trying to climb the ladder. That's exactly what it looks like. But in Battlefield 2042, it's hilarious, but hopefully it gets polished off. Next up, make it easier to see if people need to be healed. The medic in this game is so rough to use, which is sad because I love this character. I like being able to heal myself and stuff like that. But when it comes to healing other teammates, it is the most difficult thing in the whole world. Now, they nerfed the pistol so you can't, res people when they're already dead and down, which honestly, I would have loved to see how that feature worked because, then it'll make the pistol a lot more useful than it already is right now, which is pretty booty cheeks right now. But I understand why they nerfed it down and took that away because, that would be a little too overpowered. You could shoot people across the map and res them up off the ground. So I'm perfectly fine with using defibs to pick people up. But when it comes to using the pistol, I never use it because, one, I never know who the hell needs health around me. It's so hard with the UI and the colors that they chose in this game that it's nearly impossible to see who's low on health, who's all the way up. The only way I can see who's low on health is if you look at the bottom left there next to the map. You can see your squad and how much health they have. But when it comes to the rest of your team, the 50-plus players, I can't tell who needs to be healed, so me doing the job of a medic is nearly impossible. It's much more easier just to carry around the med bag and just drop it on the ground. If people need meds, they'll just run over it. Using your pistol is just pointless. The only thing I used it for is to heal myself, which at that point takes away from the whole purpose of the medic. I really hope they polish that all out. Either make the pistol easier to use, because that as well, the pistol is impossible to connect with. You waste so many bullets trying to connect because it makes sure that you nail them. You can't shoot around them. It's not a bigger hitbox when you use the pistol. No, you have to literally use it and hit them directly on their body, so you got to pray to God your teammates are standing still. And if you can't talk to them and tell them stay the hell still, you're going to waste like 5 shots. They need to work on the medic to make her more valuable of a specialist when it comes to this game. Next up is the grenade icons. You would think that this would be the most simplistic thing to add into a game, but apparently we're going back to like the World at War days where grenade icons never popped up. But yeah, if a grenade lands next to your feet, you have no clue. You basically have to watch them throw it at you, because if they throw it from behind you or from a corner that you don't see, you're not going to hear it land to you. 1, you don't hear anything, and 2, it doesn't indicate that something's near you, so you just blow up. You go poof. Very, very, I can't tell you how many streaks I've died off of or how many flags I was about to obtain, but a random grenade flops next to me, and it's there for a while too. It's not like it lands and blows up instantly. No, it's there for like a good 3-4 seconds just sitting there next to my feet, and I have absolutely no clue because I'm in the middle of a gunfight. It's too loud, too much stuff is going on. They need an indicator so I know and I can avoid that certain situation. Next is the crossplay won't work. That was a major problem. They advertised this beta as a crossplay beta, but I couldn't even play crossplay with my friends. I really hope this feature is introduced at launch. I hope it's not pushed back further because it's very crucial to make sure this works and it's good to go, because this is where all the fun is at when you play Battlefield. Playing with the homies. Playing solo Battlefield, it's alright, but when you got a squad of players playing with you, it's a whole different experience. So I really hope that crossplay is going to be working at the official launch. Okay. After that is the red dots. My God. Sometimes I don't even bother running red dots on my weapons in this game, especially when it comes to the AK and the M5 rifle as well, and I think a lot of the SMGs too. If you're using the basic little red dot, not the arrow sight's fine, but if you use the basic little red dot, you're not going to see anything, dude, when the sun is shining. When it's storming, it's a little bit better, but when the sun is out and is bright as hell, the red dot completely blends in. I can't tell you how many gunfights I sat there spraying a whole mag at an enemy, and I could not tell if I was connecting shots or not. It was so rough. They really need to tone the red dots. Maybe make them more bright, maybe a little bit larger so you can see them a bit better. That will probably solve the issue instantly. After that, they need to allow you to buy ATVs or smaller vehicles. Major issue when it came to Battlefield 2042 for me. It became a running simulator at certain sections. Usually it wasn't that big of a problem, but the majority of the time you can only purchase the large vehicles like a squad car, which if there's too many squad cars in action at a certain point, they're going to cap it and you can't buy any to use, which is understandable. You don't want people just buying a bunch of squad cars and then driving them out there. They're very hefty vehicles. They're made to, actually use, run around with your squad and shooting people down. So you don't want a bunch of them just sitting out there. It's a waste of space. It's going to add for, horrible performance drops to have tons of vehicles laying around out there. So I understand. So can't you just give us a feature for ATV, please? It would be really nice if you could just give us like motorcycles, ATVs, anything to purchase through that little, in-game menu, so I don't have to run everywhere, because certain times you do get stuck having to run halfway across the map, which kind of sucks. It's not bad. It's not the end of the world, but I think a little bit more variety in the vehicle drops would be pretty nice, not only having heavy squad drops. Next up is the tunnel running from both D flags. Sometimes when all the lights are off, it literally becomes pitch black. I don't mind the feature of shooting them out. I think that's the most badass thing in the world, and it adds for dynamic gameplay. But when I say it gets pitch black, I mean you can't see anything. It's literally just red name hunting at that point. You peek the corner, look for a red name, and you fire at it because you can't see anything. It gets that pitch black. Even the tiniest glimpse of light so we know where we're at would be good, because I can't tell you how many times I ran down there and I get so confused where I'm at, and I don't even know where I'm running anymore because I'm blind as hell. I'm blind. I don't know where I'm going. Just a tad bit more light would be phenomenal. Next up is the ammo in a medic bag. Sometimes they just completely don't work. I actually scratch sometimes. Almost all of the time they don't work. I can't tell you how many times I carry ammo bags, which is honestly my favorite thing to run in this game. I love dropping ammo for my team and also myself to restock up without having to play a support role. It's really good, really nice, and I can use whatever weapon I want. It's awesome. But the majority of the time that I throw down an ammo bag, I don't get my ammo, which really sucks because then I have to wait for it to completely regen to throw down again. And when you're in Battlefield, obviously it's a lot of hot moments where you don't have those, moments where you can sit back and wait for another ammo bag. It's a lot of split-second decisions, and if your ammo doesn't drop, that could be a life or death situation right there. So I hope they polish off this feature because that was extremely annoying throughout the whole beta. Next up is sometimes when you pull out a scout drone, you can't access it again. And what I mean by this is that drone is still up in the sky, but the second that you close it out and you try to reopen it, it just simply won't allow you until you get a brand new drone. And then when you get a new drone, you could open it up, which is a second drone. It's kind of annoying. It defeats the whole purpose, obviously, of having this drone, being able to reopen it, close it, reopen it again, look around, close it, reopen it again, look around, close it. You can't do that. You open it once, you close it, and that's it for the first drone. They need to resolve that issue because it wasn't always like that either. A lot of these problems I'm mentioning now have happened over time. In the closed beta, none of them were ever there, and then in the open beta, they just magically popped up. So man, it's a lot of stuff in this freaking beta that went wrong, but hopefully again they can polish off the drone because he's a great specialist. All of them are awesome specialists, but the majority of them are completely glitched out and buggy, which again is probably why everybody just chose the grappling hook, because he's the only one that could consistently work 24/7. Next up is a scoreboard. Personally, I think it looks really unique and awesome compared to past titles, but not being able to see the full score of the enemy team and your team as well kind of sucks. You can't even see your team's KD at all. You can only see their kills, assists, and stuff like that. I don't really like that. I want to be able to see my whole team stats. I want to see the whole enemy team stats. And yes, obviously I want to be the top squad, but at the same time, it's pretty cool to see if you're the top player in the game as well. So I hope they mess around with the scoreboards and make them just a tad bit better. After that, I put down the lack of factions is horrible. Now, again, I understand that there's specialists in this game, so there can't be factions because, you're using specialist characters. But what I meant by this is not really the factions, but just the visibility of the enemies. When you have a bunch of people running around as the same skins 24/7, it's very confusing, especially in a game with 128 players. That's like over 60 people on each team that are all running almost the same exact specialist, since there's only 4 in the beta, and like I said, everybody's using the meta, which is the grappling hook. So when you see a bunch of people running around the same thing, it gets very, very, very confusing. Honestly, it's a near futuristic game. They could easily take the BO4 approach and just literally slap on bright red patches on their arms to indicate if it's an enemy player, or bright blue patches to indicate if it's a teammate. It would literally resolve every problem going on in this game right now when it comes down to the visibility section. Next up is the spotting, which is a crucial feature when it comes to Battlefield games. Regardless if you like 3D spotting or not, just having spotting in general, like in Battlefield 5, where you can just spot a general location, is very, very, very handy, and it did not work whatsoever in this game. I could not spot enemy players. I cannot tell my team where to go. Sometimes I could tag a flag, but that's about it. And there's no reward for being a good squad lead. One of the most amazing things about Battlefield 5 is that if you did a good job as a squad lead, you were rewarded with points that could give you cool things like bombs and rockets and stuff like that. There's nothing like that in this game, which is going to take a gigantic step back where you're going to see squads that do literally nothing. No objectives. They're not telling you to go anywhere. It's just going to be base, boring stuff. So hopefully in the release of this game, 1, they'll bring back the ping system, which I'm hoping is going to be fixed, and 2, they'll bring back an actual reward for being a squad leader who is active in the community. After that, put down the revive animation for both picking people up and also getting up yourself. When you go to revive someone, it's horrible because you get into this freaking whole scene of trying to pick them up, but also picking up their weapon, so you're bouncing back and forth. It's horrible. It wastes so much time, and it gets you killed over half the time. And also, when someone revives you, it's the clunkiest, most disgusting animation I've ever seen in my whole life. It's almost like they tried to combine Battlefield 4, where you instantly just plop up, with Battlefield 5, where it was a legitimate animation for grabbing his hand and pulling him back up. It's awful, awful. Pick one or the other. Either we get right up, or you're going to make an animation where, we grab ourselves up. But don't do whatever you're doing here, because it just looks awful, it plays awful, and it kills the camera. It makes me want to throw up sometimes when the camera angle just goes absolutely haywire, doing 50 360s around. Please fix the revive animation. I'm really begging on that one. After that, the C4 is kind of busted. You can click it like 50 times and it won't blow up sometimes. It's really confusing. It kind of pushed me away from that specific feature for this whole game. I've been trying out everything, and so far, everything I enjoy. I enjoy both rockets, the med kit, the ammo box. Everything is really viable besides the C4, in my personal opinion. Hopefully, they go ahead and change that up, and maybe you could change it to the different section with grenades and stuff like that. That might be a little bit more valuable for an option, because right now it's just grenades and the proximity things, which are good. It's cool to throw one of those proximity things and see a bunch of red dots pop up on your minimap, but I usually tend to always go to grenades. I think I would gladly, bounce back and forth, though, if I saw grenades in C4. I think it'll fit better there. Next up, there's a bug where your specialist locks in place before you can actually get into the game. What I mean by this is when you first load up into a session, you literally can't get into the game until you join in, die, and then you can go back and change your specialist. Kind of annoying. If you could polish that off, that would be fantastic, because I like being able to pick what I want to be before I go into the game. Same thing with the plus system. It was kind of annoying in the beta. I'm sure they're going to change that when the official build comes out, but you can only change your attachments once you get into the game. That was really aggravating. If you could adjust your stuff ahead of time, and then when you get into the game, you go into the plus system, that would be fantastic, because I don't want to, get into the action. I'm in a helicopter, and then I jump out to a flag, and then while I'm jumping out, then I have to go into the plus system, then add my scope, add my barrel. No, please, just allow me to do it ahead of time, and then use the plus system afterwards to, readjust certain things I didn't like in my initial build. Up next is a glitch with the helicopters where you literally just can't leave them. Every single helicopter that I've been in, I can't tell you how many times I've died because I just can't exit the helicopter. It's a chore trying to leave a helicopter in this game. Please polish that off, because that has killed me so many times, and it's very aggravating and it's annoying, especially in last second situations where you're trying to hold on to your helicopter, but in a split second you're going to die, so you try to hold on as long as you can. You can't, leave or evacuate the helicopter like you could in past games at a perfect time. No, it will glitch you in and out, in and out, in and out, to the point where you'll just die. So please fix that. That's desperately needed. After that is the mini-map in this game. No mini-map in the beta. This whole beta didn't have anything, which was really depressing, because that's a huge, massive factor when it comes to Battlefield, is being able to pull up the mini-map in the middle of the session. The fact that while I'm running around, I can't see what's going on around the map, see where people are shooting or popping off, see what flags are being taken in the moment, and I can only look around and what's in front of me, sucked a lot, and it made the game a lot slower. And I think that's why a lot of people had such a bad time on this specific map, because you couldn't see where you're going. You couldn't pull up a map mid running around to see where the action's at. You were literally just guessing 24/7, trying to figure out where the action is going to go. So yeah, please, for the love of God, make sure you can pull up a minimap in the official build. And also, the last thing that I have down here for a con is also the top of the screen. When a enemy or your team completes a whole sector, it comes up with a massive, huge blue banner across the top of your screen, which takes up over half of the top there. Reduce that, please. That's all I can ask for. If you could just reduce that, make it a little bit tinier, or just remove the blue background and just put words or something like that, that'd be fantastic. But the HUD is already really up in your face enough, along with, the kill feed on the left, and then a massive blue banner at the top saying, yo, you guys took this, or they took that. Just have an announcer say, yo, they captured D1. Yo, they captured B. Just have that go on. You don't really need that massive thing at the top of the screen blocking off the whole HUD. But guys, that's the end of the video here. Thank you so much for listening to this whole thing. Like I said, I tried to rush through the cons there. There were so many problems with this game, so many bugs, so many issues. I probably didn't even come close to mentioning the complete list of things here that are wrong with it. So like I said, in the comment section, please leave your opinions, leave your problems, leave things that went wrong with the game for you guys. But other than that, yeah, thank you everybody for tuning into my streams throughout the whole beta. It was a blast. I'm extremely excited for this game to drop so I can actually play a more complete version of it, not this whatever version of this game was awful. But I'm very excited for the future of Battlefield 2042, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and you enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, you want to chat with me, there's 2 ways to do so, over Twitter and Discord. Both those links are down in the description. And also, you want to catch me live stream some video games that are over on Twitch. Link that is in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See y'all next one. Peace out.